Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. As we end the month, inshallah, there's something that I felt was really important for us to discuss and talk about, and something that really affects every single one of us, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's statement, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَ وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. That those individuals who turn away from my remembrance will have a great hardship, and we will raise them on the day of judgment blind. And the reason that I mentioned this verse is that many times we will look toward others for solutions. But all we have to do is turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't vent, and it doesn't mean that we can't seek shura or seek counsel from others, but one of the major problems that we all have is complaining. And complaining is problematic, not in the sense that there are individuals who are willing to listen to our complaints, whether they be a parent or whether they be a spouse. But the problem comes in when we turn to everybody and we start complaining to all of them. And this is what actually turns every single one of us off. We're not listening to, and we're not willing to listen to, people who are constantly complaining. And there's a big difference between complaining and looking for solutions. If I'm looking for a solution, I will find, walillahi alhamd, more often than not, that there are people who are actually willing to help me. And when I complain, I'll find that people, they grow tired and they grow weary, because we all have our own problems and we all have our own issues. So how do I determine the difference between these two? When am I complaining and when am I looking for a solution? I'm complaining when I'm not listening for a solution, and that's usually the simple formula that's involved. If I'm looking for a solution, I'm willing to take questions and I'm willing to engage with the person to help me kind of navigate and fix the problem that I have. And ultimately, all of these things, regardless of what I do, ideally I should be seeking solutions, and on top of that, making tawakkul on Allah and relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and returning back to Him. Because like we had mentioned before, the opposite of dhikr is ghafla. The opposite of remembering is forgetting. And we have to make sure that we're in a constant state of remembrance, and that regardless if somebody has oppressed me, if someone has taken my money, if my car has gotten stolen, and there's so many bad things that happen to good people, and there's so many good things that happen to bad people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have that, I give and then He gives me relationship. Just because I pray doesn't mean I'm going to get a job, or just because I've made hajj doesn't mean I'm going to have a nice house, or just because I fast doesn't mean I'm going to go to college. This is not how our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works. I am in need of Him and He is not in need of me. And if I remember that and I keep those things in mind, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything is for Him, lillahi ma akhadh wa lillahi ma ata. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes what He wills and He gives what He wills. We need to remember that this life is transitory, and that we are the ones who are being tested. Am I being successful in that test? Am I looking for solutions? And am I returning back to my Lord Azza wa Jal? And I hope and I pray that we are from those people who return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and truly rely on Him, and keep that lens and keep that focus that He is the one who is going to give us ultimate success, and with Him is all success. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow night, which will be, inshallah, the last night of Ramadan.